The Incredible Hulk was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It was their second collaboration in the Silver Age of Marvel Comics after the Fantastic Four. It was about a scientist named Bruce Banner, who, after doing a gamma experiment, finds a teenager is in the range of the gamma bomb, and he runs to protect him, but he gets a lot of gamma rays into him, and that makes him transform into a giant gray monster known as the Hulk, who will later become green, and the transformation will be later caused by him being too angry. He has a girlfriend named Betty Ross, who is the daughter of the General Ross. Obviously, they have the same last name, who hates the Hulk and wants to destroy it. So he's on the run from the government, and everyone thinks he's a monster. But is the Hulk really a monster, or is it just their imaginations? The Hulk will, of course, become one of the main characters of Marvel, and the MCU mistreats this character very badly. So it's natural that they would make a TV show, and a TV movie to go along with it. Like the previous Spider-Man, this was along with a TV show, The Hulk Show. However, The Hulk Show ended up being really popular with its pilot film. And even though it's not as good as a Spider-Man film, you can kind of see why, but the 70s were really big on the Hulk. So does this pilot film make it seem good and good enough to be a whole series with a bunch of different films attached to it? Well, let's see what it's like. The film stars Bill Baxby as David Banner. Yes, not Bruce Banner, David Banner. Why is he called David and not Bruce? I don't know. The studio didn't want the same name. Didn't like the fact that they have a BB or have a DB. Who the hell cares? He's does an alright job in the role, I guess. Apparently it gets better as the series goes on. He's a traumatized man. Why is he traumatized? Well, his girlfriend got in a car accident with him because he's bad at driving, and he couldn't save her life. And he conducts experiment on people to see why it makes them more able to get strength, but he wasn't. Not knowing that it's called adrenaline, but apparently this film doesn't know what adrenaline is. He's a sad man who's sad that he wasn't able to lift up a car, but a random black woman was. This makes him angry. Well, not that angry. He also ignores the fact that his coworker thinks he's hot as shit. And maybe he is, I don't know. Tell me in the comment section, is the Bruce or David Banner hot in this movie? So yeah, his name's not Bruce, and he doesn't work for the government making highly scientific gamma bombs for warfare. He's just trying to figure out psychology, and that somehow makes him a Hulk, because he jacked himself with some gamma rays. Apparently, gamma is in our bodies. I'm not a scientist, but that doesn't sound right to me. Like an idiot, he decides to do this probably very dangerous experiment on himself, by himself. It's not an accident, he purposely does this stuff to himself. It doesn't seem to work either. He crashes his car and gets mad again because, yeah, he's really bad at driving. But when he's angry, all of a sudden he starts to transform and, he's going to become the Hulk. And the transformation sequence is alright. They're trying to use unique lighting and angles to make it seem seamless, and it works for the most part. And now we get the Hulk, yeah. He's played by a different actor, too. You probably already know this actor, because it's Lou Ferrigno, who would become famous just for playing the Hulk. In fact, he would go on to voice the character in feature films, so that's kind of neat. Honestly, this version of the Hulk is really goofy. While it is green and he is muscular, his face is just really weird, and this is not the actor's face. Lou Ferrigno has a kind of weird face, but they made his eyebrows, like, extra big, like, not really bushy, which is really weird, and his hair is just, yeah, it doesn't look intimidating. It looks goofy, and they treat the character more like a Frankenstein's monster, which is kind of accurate than the Hulk in the comics. Like, the first thing he does is go towards a lake with a little girl. That sounds very familiar. If you know anything about the Frankenstein, then the monster, you probably recognize this scene. Where the Hulk isn't really an angry guy, because even though it was just raining and he was mad earlier, he's like, I'm gonna save this girl by punching a tree. And yeah, the Hulk doesn't really seem that strong, but he seems stronger than a regular guy, but it doesn't seem like super strong. Like, it seems like he's really struggling just to push down a tree, which is something that comic book or other later Hulks wouldn't have that much trouble with. He also can be injured by a gunshot, which makes him seem really weak. He does heal from this pretty quickly, but as you clearly can see, he does bleed from it, and he gets really pissed off about a little gunshot wound, which is, not very strong there, dude. I mean, we could just kill the Hulk with a gun in this universe, apparently. I do like this transition shot for him throwing the guy. He seems to throw him a little bit, but then he's, like, going way farther than that. Like, geez Louise. This is a guy moving up in the air as he gets thrown. One of the weirdest shots is when Hulk transforms back into David Banner. He looks at a reflection, and every time it goes back, he looks more and more like his old self. I guess it's like I thought he was just looking at his reflection, like what's going on here, and then he's like, oh, it's actually him transforming back. It's not. They think it's more clever than it actually is. And the rest of the movie is incredibly boring. It's just David and his girlfriend, non-girlfriend, who she likes him, but he doesn't know, just experimenting on him, but not really. And then, I guess, avoiding bad press. Ooh. All of a sudden, the building gets caught on fire because I guess they're dumb as shit and didn't have safety precautions. Because, whatever. These characters seem like they're that smart. I guess they're supposed to be, but they weren't that clever. So the finale is just he turns into Hulk and tries to save the woman, but he fails miserably because she dies anyway. And then she's like, oh, I always loved you. And she doesn't know this because later on he says, oh, I actually liked you a lot, went to her grave, but he was the Hulk at this point, so I guess he doesn't. So yeah, whatever, who cares? Also, people think that he died, so yeah. People thought David Banner is dead, and went, yeah, what, okay. And this is supposed to set up the rest of the series where he goes on the run trying to find a cure, I guess, which definitely sounds more interesting than whatever this film was. I cannot recommend the original pilot movie for The Incredible Hulk unless you're a 70s kid and like the Hulk and just want to see how it starts, which is this long-ass pilot. I guess the rest of the series would probably be better since it probably has more going for it with the concept. But this film is really boring. Bruce Banner is... Bruce Banner. I keep saying Bruce Banner as his character's name. David Banner is a pretty boring character. He just cries over his dead girlfriend, which I guess makes sense, but just we don't really care that much. It barely has any Hulk in it, and when he's there, he doesn't even seem very threatening, at least like the way the world perceives him as, which could have been an interesting angle, but it doesn't really delve into that either. Also, if you're a comic book fan of this character, you're really not getting a whole lot of what you like from the comics, since, this is mostly about an origin story that isn't even really accurate, and also a lot less interesting. It's not the worst thing in the world, but there's a lot better Marvel movies out there, so I'd say skip it. Here is the current tier list for all the Marvel movies I've seen so far. See you next time. We're doing even more 70s Marvel TV movies with Doctor Strange. See you then. Did I say tomorrow? Because it's not tomorrow. It's the next day. Or whatever else I'm going to do there. Who cares? Anyway, see you then.